Tyler, welcome to Indianapolis. What can you tell us about just the interest that the coach showed in you throughout the pre-draft process and what you can bring to the team?
Yeah, I mean, I had met with him at the combine, came up on a 30 visit, but I really enjoyed, even from the combine, it was a team that I really, enjoyed the staff and my meeting with them, and enjoyed being there for my 30 visit. But yeah, I'm just really excited, and it's a great place, to go play football, and I'm excited to work with that program and that organization.
Jake,
Hey Tyler, welcome to Indy. So it's been a while since they've had a high volume tight end in this area. Have they expressed to you the way they envision using you pretty much right off the bat?
No, I mean I don't have a specific, what their whole plan is, but I know I'm just going to come in and do whatever is asked of me and do it to the best of my ability. That's kind of what I try to do as a football player. So whatever that looks like is what I'm gonna do.
Joel,
What's your mentality as a blocker?
Yeah, I think it's just as important as anything else I do, and I know it's my job to stop that guy from making a tackle at the end of the day, right? That's the base rule of what you want to do when you're blocking somebody, and I think having the right mentality and having violent intentions is part of it, but also understanding technique and angles and aiming points and stuff like that. So I think there's a little bit of both from playing with the angry mentality, but also being able to be smart about it and know what you're doing.
Stephen,
Oh, it's a similar question I was going to ask. I mean, they've talked about wanting to have a guy who they can play on all three downs, and because you are multifaceted, you give them that opportunity. I mean, I guess how valuable is it just to have that ability to play to be on the field and play in every situation at your position?
Yeah, I think that, it's important kind of in general as a football player to be able to be on the field as much as you can, help the team out as much as you can. And then as a tight end, it helps you kind of the whole offense being able to block and be a threat in the passing game opens up, everybody else in the offense and kind of just a scheme in general. So I think that is a lot of, really important for a tight end to be able to be on the field for all three downs.
James,
Tyler, can you tell us the John Riggins story and watching film with your dad about how he plays and how you've implemented that, I guess, into your game?
Yeah, so that was actually before, like first year of tackle football. My dad pulled up the YouTube highlights of John Riggins and he was because he was a Washington fan growing up and he was like, this is how I want you to run the ball and kind of how I want you to play football. So I wore on the 44 in Little League is the number that I wore and then got to wear it again in college. So that was kind of, where the 44 came from, but it was, kind of just speaks to the way my dad raised me and the type of football guy he was and the John Riggins fan.
So, real quick follow up: how old were you when you're watching this film? I guess around what age?
Yeah, I was probably like 8 years old doing a first year tackle. So it was a while ago.
Joel,
Did you want to be the first tight end taken? Does it matter to you that you ended up being the second one off the board?
No, I'm just, I'm excited to have an opportunity to play in the NFL and to, play for Indianapolis. It's really cool. So that's kind of what my focus is, and I'm just excited to be a Colt.
Jake,
That was actually mine as well. But I guess, with the Colts picking in the middle of this round, they weren't the only team interested in you, obviously. How nerve-wracking was that to sit and wait? And then ultimately, I'm sure you've heard about these mock drafts. Like, you've been linked to the Colts for months now. So how was that waiting?
Yeah, it's I'm glad that's the only time I really have to do that, and that was my last time doing it. But like you said, it's just you don't have much to control yourself. You're just sitting there waiting and hoping you get picked. But I'm happy that it came down to the Colts, and I'm excited to get to work.
Brad,
Tyler, we see you played baseball and basketball in high school. What was your takeaway from either of those that has most paid off for you in football this many years long?
I think they both helped me. I think basketball is a big one, just especially tight ends, using your body, getting open, and kind of just that. Those type of movements are kind of similar when you get into certain tight end aspects, like going up and high point balls, stuff like that. So I think it helped me out a lot, playing all three sports really all through high school.
Joel,
Obviously Riggins made a big impression on you. Did were the other players that you liked growing up, were they in the same vein, kind of those hard-nosed types of guys?
Yeah, I think that is, fair to say. Jeremy Shockey was another tight end I came across this summer that I kind of liked, just kind of his mentality that he played with when he was running the ball, especially. So that was, another player kind of similar type of style, the way he plays. So that is something that I try to emulate in my game.
James?
Tyler, I know you're a mild-mannered guy, but do you give yourself a chance to, I don't know, scream, yell, get excited about the new opportunity? I know you want to focus on what's ahead, but do you take a moment tonight to celebrate, one of the biggest accomplishments of your life?
Yeah, I think it is important to enjoy it, for tonight and then be able to get to work. But probably once I get off this Zoom is probably when I'll do something like that. But yeah, I'm definitely, really excited and really appreciative of all the help, from all the people that I've gotten to get to this point.